These are measures of central tendencies.
Alright, hello ladies and gentlemen, and today we're going to be doing measures of central tendency. Alright, measures of central tendencies, and it's basically a way where you just analyze the data in different ways. So there are some things we're going to look at in regards to that. So you have the mean, median, mode, range, interquartile range, and you have the MAD, mean absolute deviation. We're going to be going into depth with these processes, okay? Okay, so we have a word problem right here, alright? So Mr. Player is purchasing socks for the basketball players. He needs to find a common size range for the players, okay? So we have a list of the players' shoe sizes right here to measure what range we can put the socks at, okay? So I'll write it below.
12, 11 and a half, 10, another size 10, 8, 9, 6, 10 and a half, 11, 10, another 10, another 10, a 9, 8, and lastly but not least, 11.
Okay, so what we first want to do is we want to find the mean. The mean is basically just the average of all the data, okay? So, we have our data points right here. And what we're going to do is we're going to find the average. So what you do to find the average is you add all the data points, okay? And I'll do that below. Okay, and so you add all the data points below when you look at it. And when you add it, it's going to come to a total of 146. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Now, what you have to do is you have to divide by the number of data points. The number of data points in this case is 15. Okay? So what you do is bring the decimal up top. 15 times 9 to make sure it goes in properly. Okay? 135. Subtract it. Be 11. Now, bring down the 0. 15 goes into 110. How many times? 7. Subtract that right there. 5. Add a 0. 15 goes into 50 how many times? 3 times. In this case, the 3 will be repeating if you keep multiplying. When you do it right, the mean comes to a total of 9,733 repeated. Okay? Now that is your mean right there. That is how you find the mean. Okay, so the next measure of central tendency to find and analyze the data, the next thing we do is the median. Okay? The median. What you do to find the median is you find the middle number. So around that number, middle number, okay? So what we have to do is order them from least to greatest. So we have our data points here for the shoes. 6, 8, 8, 9, 9, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10 and a half, 11, 11, 11 and a half, and 12. What you have to do, cross each point out until you get to the middle.
To include our videos, service areas can be.
Our median is 10. That is the middle number. Okay. The next thing to analyze the data of measures of central tendencies would be the mode. Okay. The mode is the most popular number in there, and that will basically tell you what your data will look like. So when you look at it, 12, 9, 9, 11 and a half, 6, 8, 10, 10 and a half, 11, 10, 11, 10, 8, 10, 10. Out of all those, we can see there are an exceptional amount of 10s. We may have, good morning, we may have these right here, but there are an exceptional amount of 10s. So our mode equals 10. Go. Okay. So next thing we're going to do in measures of central tendencies is the interquartile range and the box plot. Box of List's plot, to be exact. Okay. So we already know that our median is 10. Now there's something we call the first quartile and third quartile. There's 3 quartiles. The median is the second quartile. When we do this, we find the median right here by cutting the data. When you do that, and you come into the middle, first quartile is 9. Do the same over here, and you come to the middle, third quartile is 11. Now, when setting up your box and wish list plot, you first have to make a number line. While making the number line, you also have to include your minimum and maximum, just to organize the data. You set the box right where the first quartile is, which is 9. The median is 10. You set a line right there to notify that it is. The third quartile is 11, and so we put and end the box right there. Now, with our first quartile being 9 and our third quartile being 11, what we have to do is we have to subtract 9 from 11 to get the interquartile range. When you do that, 11 minus 9 equals 2. And that is your interquartile range. That is essential tendencies.
I gotta feel it, bro.
Okay, our last measure of central tendency is the MAD, mean absolute deviation. What this tells us is how far away each data point is from the mean, or the average. Okay? So, some important things you have to remember. When you're using the mean absolute deviation, you're using the mean. When you use the mean, you round to the nearest 10, or nearest 1, whatever is more comfortable for you. I decided, since our mean is 9 and 733 thousandths repeated, that what we have to do is round to 10. Some things to keep in mind. You always use your answer in absolute value. Okay? So let's get started. So when you look at it, you subtract the mean from every data point. And remember, it's absolute value. So 6 minus 10, 8 minus 10, 8 minus 10, 9 minus 10, 9 minus 10, 10 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 and a half minus 10, 11 minus 10, 11 minus 10, 11 and a half minus 10, and 12 minus 10. When you do that in absolute value, come up with 4, 2, 2, 1, 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, a half, 1, 1, 1 and a half, and 2. So we're going to use that. When you add it up all together in absolute value, it comes up to an approximate answer of 16. Okay, 16. What you do is you divide 16 by 15, which is the amount of data terms in the set. Okay? So, when you do that, 15 goes into 16 one time. Okay? Subtract that, that'll equal 1. Bring it down to 0. 15 goes into 10 0 times. Subtract into 10. Bring down the extra 0. Okay? 100 minus 90 equals 6. Okay? Subtract that. That'll be 10. Bring down to 0. 15 goes into 100 6 times. So, 15 times 6 equals 90. Subtract that. There's your answer. That's how you find the math.
I will tell you.